Welcome to another episode of the Five Senses webcast. I'm your host, Robert Zinni, maskless for the first time in a year. Today, my guest is Adrienne Carey, a woman who has been born and raised here, but also has been an influential community member here in Prescott. She is the founder of the Whiskey Rollers roller derby team, the co-owner of the new shop, Oh My Quad Skate Shop. And did you also know she's an educator and was recently honored through the county's Educator Tribute that replaced the Teacher of the Year award. And she is also here to talk about the Northern Tattoo Festival. Yes, it is back. We've been missing it. Adrienne, how you been?
Hanging in there. Probably just like everybody else this last year, hanging in there.
Right.
Yep.
So you do so much for this community. How do you manage being co-owners, the founder of the roller derby team, putting on the Tattoo Fest, being an educator?
I don't know. So the cool thing is that the Tattoo Fest is once a year. So it's an event, and a lot of the planning is happening behind the scenes and at home on my computer, on my couch. And so it's not like I have to do a whole lot until summer, and then I don't work in the summer, which is part of the bonus about being a teacher is I have the whole summer off. Derby's been in my life for 13 years at this point, and so I just make time for it. And after my son was born, I just had such a great support system, and my husband was like, no, you're gonna keep doing this. Like, Derby's important to you. So I've just been able to keep doing everything, and somehow I fit it all into the puzzle that is my life. Each one is a piece, I guess. I don't know. No, I make it work.
You make it work, and doing a full-time job and then doing 3 or 4 extra stuff. But I don't know if a lot of people know, but you were born and raised here in Prescott, and you've seen our city grown over time. So what does Prescott mean to you, Adrienne? Because you're so involved in our community. That's
so close. I would love to say I was born here, but I wasn't. Yes, I am actually from California.
What? No way.
But my parents moved here in the 80s when it was so little, with the desire to open a small market, which my dad did. It's called Willow Creek Market. All the high schoolers back in the 90s and 80s would go frequent it at lunch. Lots of people who grew up here have memories of the market and my dad. And it's a part of Prescott. And the growth has been insane. Watching it grow since I was a kid. It's like I sometimes don't even recognize it anymore. But I'm still here. I have been here this whole time. I went away to college, but then I came back. I was trying to leave. I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to leave Prescott. I got to get out of here. And then I met my husband. So I was like, oh, okay, we'll just stay. And now here we are, how many ever years later. I love Prescott. Obviously, I really wouldn't be here if I didn't. I think it's still a town that has some small town charm. I can go to the grocery store and still run into 3 or 4 people that I know or that I grew up with. I have a lot of friends here that grew up here still. Prescott is kind of like a vortex. You leave and it just it sucks you back in. Yeah, I mean, you know that,
yep.
Zinni.
My deep dive depression in Vegas that one year. Yes.
And then you ended up back in Prescott, which I feel like you said you weren't going to come back, but
I have definitely said that.
Yes. And a lot of people say that and then come back. So I think it has a very unique charm. And it's also really important to me to provide cool stuff to do here.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like maybe that's the one thing that Prescott is lacking. It maybe has a certain cultural aspect to it that doesn't lend itself to the younger people of Prescott. Not that I'm that young anymore, but I'm not retiring or anything. So trying to develop things in our town that are fun, like roller skating, like the skate shop, like events at the skate park. And then, of course, the Tattoo Fest as well. And anything else I can think of along the way.
Right. No, it's great because you do, with your niche in this community, you do bring some spice to it. You bring some life as well. And just alone, tattoo and roller derby, I never equate that to Prescott, but a lot of things are changing in our town. So I'm really grateful that we have people like you to bring this fun stuff because we're both teachers and educators, and how many times did we hear our kids, there's nothing to do in Prescott, right? So let's go for that right now. So we've been co-workers for a while now at North Point, and you were a representative for the education tribute that replaces the Teacher of the Year. So thank you, Adrienne, for being a great model. And if people don't know, like, Adrienne does so much for North Point. Not only is she a teacher, but she does prom, right? She was able to get our prom on the square this year. Does our passage portfolio, which is about sophomores going to the higher level. Graduation, putting on dances. I don't know if there's anything else you don't do at North Point. But I want to know, like, what motivates you to be a positive role model for your students?
I guess just that's an interesting question. What motivates me? I don't know if I've ever really thought about what actually motivates me, but I feel like the reward exchange system, I help a kid and I see that they've grown or moved forward or figured something out, or I've at least like helped, guide them in a certain direction to figure out stuff for their own life. Then that's the reward for me, is seeing that they like have made a difference for themselves. And so I guess I just keep getting those little little chunks of rewards, It's like a dog getting a little treat. Oh, do it again. Just keep doing it, I guess. I enjoy working with teenagers. I think they're such a misunderstood population. And I feel like I remember being very misunderstood and didn't have a teacher. I don't even remember any of my teachers, to tell you the truth. Well,
that's a bad sign, because that means they're a bad teacher.
I didn't have any connections in that way. And I was terrified of adults as a teenager too. Like, I just didn't have any of those adult connections. So I feel like it's important for me to give that back and maybe make a connection that somebody didn't have and just help them along the way, move them towards graduation or just in a better place or whatever that looks like for them. It's so much more about the emotional, social than people give school credit for. You can't even get to the academic if you don't cross the emotional, social barrier and get kids help in that way.
That's very true. Currently, you're teaching one of your classes about the brain. Mm-hmm. And so what is it about those elective courses at North Point that really makes you connect with the kids, but also bring in some really fun topics that maybe they don't get in normal high school? Yeah,
the electives at our school are super cool because it could be something that I would be interested in, and I'm learning right along with the kids with it. This particular one I'm doing is about the brain, and part of why I love that so much is because you can really talk about your responses to things and how the brain perceives things. In turn, how you perceive something may not be actually what it is. So our brain tries to just make sense of things as much as possible. So it likes to fill in the gaps. So you and I see something, which we have, totally on two different ends, yep. And really the answer is somewhere in the middle. And so to me, maybe if they just even walk away with that idea out of my intensive, then they're learning a whole lot to move them into the next part of their life. And I think that's what we do at North Point really well, is that each teacher finds something that's within their niche. And if they just, give a kid one little piece to take with them for the rest of their life, and planting those little seeds along the way, then it's awesome. Then they're learning something,
Exactly. And I think you hit on that. I hope that a lot of people listening out there know that has been missing in schools is that social emotional aspect. And I know that you really emphasize on that through meditation and mindfulness. So could you tell us a little bit about like why you bring that mindfulness piece to your students? Mm-hmm.
I can. I had a really bad temper when I was a kid and into my 20s. And I didn't find... So prior to being a teacher, I was a social worker. And that was... I feel like bad saying it was horrible, but really it was horrible for my health. And being a social worker, removing kids, doing investigations, seeing just the things I saw, it starts to weigh really heavy on your soul. And so aside from like kind of having a temper and being an angry individual anyway, and then add all that stress on top of it, I just was kind of a mess, I feel like. And so I started trying to come up with ways to help myself. And I have a degree in psychology and criminal justice. So just being part of that social work field, like I know things about mental health, so I was able to kind of take a step back and be like, something's going on. Towards the end of my career with CPS, I ended up on Wellbutrin and anxiety meds because it was super bad. I was like, this isn't going to work for me. Like, I don't want to be medicated. And so then I found yoga, and I found a lady that kind of helped me understand that I was suffering from kind of some adrenal fatigue, like all the adrenaline and the cortisol constantly flowing through my veins, and just helped me to bring that down and back to a place. And so I started doing yoga, started meditating, got my yoga teacher training certificate, and then started delving deeper into the philosophy of it and understanding that. And then I still have a yoga teacher training school. So then, when you teach people, you learn more yourself too. And you just get to explore with people. So really just delving into yogic philosophy and the ideas that come along with that. Maybe a little bit out there sometimes, but it's helped me to bring myself down. And in turn, because of how much that's helped me, I want to give that as much as possible to the kids. And there's so much scientific information out there about how mindfulness and meditation can calm your brain, can calm your nervous system, can help you make decisions, can help you focus. And so I try to bring that because I didn't learn that when I was 16, 17, 18.
I didn't either.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe I was too mature for that, but if we would have had that at our age, I mean, maybe that's something that could have helped, with emotional regulation.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I mean, I just discovered yoga, which I think you probably make fun of me for because how much I've said I hated yoga in the past. It was forced because I was training for a race, but I have definitely felt the stress of COVID-19 in education, and having that mindful practice that we teach at North Point really impacts my personal life too, because then I can go from North Point, come here, then maybe do the TBD show or do whatever. And again, I think people listening and watching at home, that's something that we need to really focus on for the students. So when you see Adrienne, tell her congratulations because she's an excellent role model and positive influence for all of our students there. And it actually makes sense of why you do all these fun activities here in Prescott, because that's another gift that you're giving our community, is an avenue for students and high schoolers and middle schoolers to have a safe environment to be themselves and have fun, And so one of them is you're the founder of the Whiskey Roller Derby team, right? And you're always recruiting, and that's been missing. If anybody has ever been to Pioneer Park, it's such a great time. I had the privilege of doing one announcing game, and it was really fun. I love doing play-by-play.
Totally did. I almost forgot.
Yeah, right?
You should do more.
Please ask me.
Yes.
I mean, now I'm a host of everything, right? Actually might be a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
So what has the Derby team been up to since it's been, a year without it?
That's like the worst part about my life is the lack of Derby. I mean, I guess I feel like I'm doing pretty good if that's the worst part about my life. But for the last year, so in March of last year, let's say 2019, we started going to tournaments. We pulled ourselves out of what we call the Arizona State Conference, which is playing teams just around our state, because we wanted more experience. And so we started going to tournaments. We went to Lake Tahoe, Monterey, California, somewhere else. And then our last one was we went to Florida. It wasn't a tournament. We were playing a team there that I found that was really close in ranking to us.
Okay.
And if you're close in ranking to somebody, the way that the whole system works is if you win, you can kind of move up in the ranking. So we've been working really hard to move our ranking up. And man, a lot of hard work, I feel like. We got to Florida, we beat the team we were trying to beat, and then we had an expo game the next day. It didn't count towards ranking. They were ranked really a lot higher than us, but we did so good. We surprised them, which was super cool. And we were so excited. We were on this big high, and we're in Florida, and we're I get an email from the team saying, "Hey, are you guys still coming?" Why wouldn't we come? We've been planning this for 6 months, this whole thing. And we turn on the news and it's first case of COVID-19 in Tampa. We just flew into the Tampa airport. No. So we were all already pretty much there at that point. And we played and everything was fine. And my husband and my son and I and another couple from the team went to Universal. And we were there and I'm things are weird. There's not a lot of people here. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. people are being kind of standoffish, but whatever. We were having a good old time. Everything was fine. And then we get to our Airbnb and we turn on the news, and my husband and I were like, oh my gosh, we need to get home. It's like the world ended. It was like apocalypse 2020, you know? So we leave this tournament and like freaking out. Everyone's wearing masks on the plane, and we weren't prepared. So we didn't have masks or gloves or even, I don't even think we had hand sanitizer at that point. And I think we had stopped at a Walgreens close to the airport in Tampa, and there was nothing. Everything was cleared out, like all the shelves of like wipes and all the things. Okay, fine. Let's just get home. So we get home, and literally the next week, the city shut down the rink. And wouldn't let hockey practice, wouldn't let us practice. And then WIFDA, which is our governing board, our insurance, our rankings, all that stuff, said, okay, Derby's done for now. And the return to play guidelines, this might be a very unpopular statement, but I think personally are way too stringent. And I don't know when anyone's going to get to play. We're at the point where our numbers are low enough that we can practice and we can have contact. But who are we going to play? Like literally nobody else can play right now because people's numbers aren't as low as ours. California, I think, is actually doing pretty good at this point. But Phoenix isn't anywhere close, and that's, someone close to us. I don't know about Tucson. So we're playing and practicing on our own now, and people within our county, and that's been awesome because it's a huge relief to at least be out there and skating and doing our thing. But it's been a rough year without it. I've skated the whole time, but not having Derby, not having that like physical release of hitting other people on roller skates has been sad.
If you have not seen Adrienne play, she is like a running back. She will bob and weave and just plow through people. Like, you are very vicious on the court, and that's what I appreciate you as an athlete.
I try to be. Right. It's self-survival, right?
Mm-hmm. And so through the pandemic, you've actually created two things for our community to enjoy when it comes to skating. Could you give us a little bit of details about that?
Yeah, so my friend Joya and I were very crazy about skating and Derby, and her and I have been plotting, I guess you could say, to have skating as a job in our life to some degree for, I swear, the last 10 years. And we've talked about a rink, talked about it, like, how can we make this happen? The problem is, like, all the rinks in Phoenix, they've been rinks since the 70s. And so they've owned those buildings for so long. The thing about, like, opening a rink here would be the overhead would be so high, a skating rink would never pay for it. So, in all these talks, we're trying to, like, figure it out. And then we start making these fan skates. Like, I made a pair and she made a pair. And we kind of started talking about how to make them. And then she taught me how to do this stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And then she gave me like 3 pairs. She's like, will you sell these for me? Absolutely. Sold them super quick. And then and we started talking, and randomly, I don't exactly know the timeline if we came up with skate events first, but we borrowed a bunch of skates from Flagstaff, the old rink brownie. So we're like, we have all these skates. We can do some skating events. So we rent out the rink, the Pioneer Park rink, one time a month. And we do these skating events where, anyone can come, pay their $5 or $10. We bring a DJ on. Usually it's DJ Beat Mahler. Last time it was DJ Freely. And this last time I had like the laser lights go in and all kinds of stuff. So we try to make it as skate rink as possible. Yes, it's not an indoor rink like everybody wants, but it is fun. And I think I'd really like to see people give it the chance instead of like shutting it down and saying it's not an indoor rink. Like, it's amazing. You talk to anyone that comes and they're like, it's so much fun. We're really getting into it. I had these people stop by the shop on, I don't remember what day it was, Saturday or maybe Friday night. And they were like looking for skates, and the daughter was interested. And I was talking to the guy, and he's like, yeah, we came to your last event, the skate prom, and now we all love skating. And so it's this really cool thing people can do as families, like we used to when we were kids, when Skate Town USA was here, and then it was roller rave, and then it was nothing. We're doing the best we can to bring that nostalgia and that feeling back. And then we bought a ton of skates, our own skates from Sure Grip. And those are like the old school brownies too, like the brown with the orange, wheels
I know
and stuff.
About, yeah.
I should have brought one, show it. And so we have so many skates right now for rental. And that's what makes it work, is because anyone can come. If you have skates or not, you can still come and get on skates. We do 2 sessions, so that way we have rentals available kind of for both sessions. But that started, and then it turned into, well, we need to get some wholesale items so that we can make cheaper van skates, because really we were getting everything at cost and it just wasn't working. And most places, well, at least roller skate places now, with the resurgence of roller skating, will not wholesale to you if you don't have a brick and mortar. And so we keep hitting these brick walls. Not really, because we didn't have a brick and mortar. And we weren't able to get these wholesales, so our skates we weren't getting the price down, and we weren't kind of making our money back. And I was talking to Nick, who owns the Skate Stop, which is now at the mall with the Prescott Action Center, which is that big...
it's the old Sears.
Yeah, the old Sears, the big skate park, the indoor skate park. And he's like, oh, I get calls for roller skates all the time. I'm thinking about carrying them. And I'm like, don't you dare. You send them my way, because that's what we do. We carry roller skates, and we can get roller skates, because we had gotten like one wholesale account at that point. I was like, and we make custom van skates. And so just in talking to him, it's like, oh, do you want to shop? Well, yeah, we want to shop. We need a brick and mortar. Oh, you can have this space here. And there's like this little space that we were able to obtain. And it just was it was super low risk for us. Like, the rent's cheap. Really, anything that we buy, I'm not afraid that we can't eventually sell, even if it's online. So it was just all low risk. And we're like, let's go for it. And so now we have a skate shop at the skate park in the mall, which is like, I have a shop in the mall. Like, well, Prescott's mall is kind of sad, but
it is pretty sad.
I'm trying to make it better, because then we're doing events. We're hosting events at the Action Center where people can come and just like a group skate, kind of like, you want to learn how to skate in the skate park? Come skate around, and, we'll do little coaching sessions if you want. So we're trying to build this super awesome skate community here in Northern Arizona, because a lot of places have these rad skate communities, like even Phoenix. Like, people go to Great Skate and Skateland and all those places, and they all know each other. It's like, I want that here. I want like a really cool like skate community. So it's kind of our big goal, is to build this awesome skate community where people can come to the rink, rent some skates, or bring their own, and then we can go to the skate park and we can learn from each other and how to skate ramps. And
and the skate park is pretty cool too, because you have people on roller skates, and then you have people on skateboards, and you have they built ramps in there. And what I like about it is that like kids can go to a safe spot and learn how to skateboard, so I dig that. And I think we have a lot of great skaters, like,
oh my gosh,
in the Quad City area.
And we have our own Porter Ross at our school.
Yes, Porter
he
Ross
actually gives lessons on the weekends. He gets given my son a ton of skateboard lessons. So, and then there's a lot of young kids there that work there actually at the Skate Stop, and they are just amazing on rollerblades. There's this one kid, TJ, and I've been working with him to learn to flip because he's got all these flips down. And he's awesome on his roller blades. So blades, quads, we don't care. Bring them. Like, come skate. We just want to skate.
Exactly. And I've always, this is my class, Adrienne, that, the people who are the most successful have growth mindset, and skaters are growth mindset totally. That's the definition,
It's like my husband going skating. It's like, okay, one more time. And I'm like, okay, I'm tired. Okay, one more time. I got this next time. And it's like, and keep going. But I swear that's how they all are. It's fine. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way on roller skates. So, yeah, I don't know. We for the love of skating, I guess.
Exactly.
For the love of skating.
Hey, you're following your passion. I think that's another lesson that people can learn, is just like, you just got to follow your passion and whatnot. And so when we look at Adrienne Carey, she has an amazing style, but she also has these awesome tattoos, which is the segment to the Northern Tattoo Festival, which is back and ready to go. So like, what's up with this year's tattoo fest?
We have a full lineup. We're full in our rooms. Like, we're doing good.
What type of tattoo artists are coming? Because there's a lot of different styles. And talking about your husband, Tony, who works at Holdfast, he is the only person that's going to touch my body with ink, right? Because I love his Japanese style. When somebody goes to the Tattoo Fest in July, what type of styles and artists will be there? Really
all styles. We really try to vary between portrait artists and traditional artists, and even people that kind of have their own style, and Japanese artists. Across the board, we have whatever you would want to get done. Typically, we do try to make our tattoo convention international, which we usually do, sometimes more so than other times. But this year, because of weird travel restrictions, I had a friend that I was trying to get to come up from Mexico City, and she was trying. She couldn't even get a visa appointment until like August, and even then, like vaccinations and stuff going on. She's like, I can't make it. So she's planning for 2022, and I'm assuming we can get some more international artists coming in 2022. But for this year, it's in people from the States. I mean, we do from all over.
Right.
From New York to California.
If I want to go to the Tattoo Fest, right, what do I expect and how much do I have to pay for a weekend pass?
Well, you won't be coming to the Tattoo Fest because you have to leave on that weekend for some reason.
Family reunion.
But if someone like you were to come, you can buy your tickets in advance at northernaztattooFest.com, or you can just come to the door and pay for them at the door. You save a few bucks by buying them in advance. It's not like the end of the world. We don't upcharge like $10, $20 at the door, and you get an all-day pass, or you can buy weekend pass for a little bit cheaper too, and you get to go in and wander around. And we have Saturday night, we have music. Saturday day, we have a pinup contest. There's always people tattooing. We have someone doing face paint this year for the kids. So if you have kids, don't hesitate to bring your kids. We're kid friendly. So that's not a problem. And it's just a good time. Some of the artists, well, I would say most of the artists that are like repeat, comers, they say it's like summer camp for tattoo artists. Like that's the vibe that it is.
Okay.
So it's like just super fun, and everybody's there to have a good time and make some tattoos and do a good job. And we handpick all the artists.
That's excellent. And I really enjoy the culture, even though I don't look like it. I really like the culture of the Northern Arizona Tattoo Fest, because I don't know if you'll have like a rockabilly band, but you usually have those kind of bands, and I really enjoy that. And then if you haven't seen the pinup contest, those ladies go to the tens, and it's so cool. And then there's also contest, right? So if, so if I get tattooed, then your skin could be shown at the end of the convention and get an award for best tattoo and stuff. So I think that's neat.
So we do like best of day, so the tattoos that are done that day, or a tattoo that you already have that's healed, you can come in and show it and try to win, best color portrait or best Japanese or best sleeve or something like that.
Right. Yeah. And man, the culture of tattoos I feel like is finally going to be breaking through kind of like the mainstream. So there's a lot to be excited about here in Prescott. And so Adrienne, before we go, if you just want to plug all of the things that you do, you can. Sorry.
Okay. So for roller derby, you can go to northernazrollerderby.com. There's not a whole lot on our website right now because there's not a whole lot going on, but it's there. The info is there. The contact is there. We have practices Tuesday and Thursday nights. Anybody can come watch. They're from 8 to 10. It's kind of late, I know, but it is what it is. So that's roller derby. The other skate things, Oh My Quad Skate Shop. We're Oh My Quad Skate Shop on Instagram and Facebook. We're working on a website. And then for P-Town Social Skate Club, which is kind of like the sister version of Oh My Quad, that's where we do our monthly rink events. So it's P-Town Social Skate Club on Instagram and Facebook. The Tattoo Fest is northernaztattooFest.com. You can buy your tickets there and find all the info there. The artist list actually should be up this week. We just got all the confirmations. And so, that'll be up there. So you can take a look at people's work, and you can actually make appointments in advance if you see someone you really like, or you can just come and just wander around and, let the vibe speak to you and go from there.
Excellent, Adrienne. Well, thank you for your time.
Did I forget anything?
I don't know. Do you want to plug North Point? I mean, I'm already doing it. So,
northpointacademy.org. I love working there. It's amazing. I don't know. I didn't say this, but when I got my teaching degree, I didn't want to work anywhere else. I had done my student teaching in Camp Verde because I refused to do it at PHS or Bradshaw. It's just too big for my brain. And so the teacher that was there left, and I happened to just slide right into that position, and I'm not about to give it up anytime soon.
Good, because you're too valuable for our team.
Nope.
And that's happened to me too. Like I did my student teaching there, and I'm like, I do not want to teach in traditional high school.
Yeah.
And then that teacher just went away, and I'm like, oh, and I slid in
I
there.
just slide right in. Yeah.
We've been there ever since, besides my little sabbatical to Vegas. So. Adrienne, it was a pleasure having you on the webcast. Thank you, and everybody go to all of her links because it's a nice family atmosphere for the skate shop and also the tattoo place. You'll meet a lot of cool artists, see a lot of great culture from around the world, and it's just great. So this is Robert Zinni logging off of the Five Senses webcast. For more information, log on to 5enses.mag.com. Like us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.